Right, what's up YouTube? My name is Parag, and today I'm going to be going over a question that personally affected me a lot as I was making my college decision. I obviously ended up going to UC Berkeley, but one of the things as I was going uh, to make my decision was this thing of people telling me that Berkeley was a very competitive place, it was a place where I don't know if I'd be able to succeed, and it was a very cutthroat environment. All of this stuff was just stuff I was hearing, and I didn't know if it would be true. And now that I'm 4 years down the line, I think I can reflect a bit on it and at least give you my insights and hope that you learn from my experiences. Before I do that, I do want to make sure you all understand that I by no means am an expert in any of this. It's me kind of reflecting on my personal experiences and seeing how or what I learned, and hopefully it can be useful to you. So here's the main question: is UC Berkeley competitive slash cutthroat? Because I know a lot of students out there think it might be. So I was very much in the same boat as many of you. When I went into Cal, the many rumors I had going in was that everyone was insanely smart, and that was discouraging to me because um, it's very very scary to be around so many people that you genuinely admire and respect, and it's crazy that everyone at Cal is like that. It really does feel like that. Another thing I learned, which is the second bullet point on here, is that students sabotage, and I was told that students sabotage each other. They don't work together. People are out to kind of get you. That's the mentality I was given, and I was like, wow, that's kind of sad, but I didn't know if it would be true. The third thing was like people would say, not everyone can be the best. In schools such with such talent, it can be difficult to feel like you are um, doing well. And that's another thing I heard, that not everyone can be the best, and you might be setting yourself up for failure. And I was like, again, I don't know if this is true, but we'll see. The other thing I heard was that they curve against you, meaning that they curve certain classes down because only a certain number of A's can be given. That's another thing I heard. The last two things I'm going to talk about is that they emphasize competition. They said that it was a very competitive environment. It was a very scary environment. And the last thing was they told me that it's not just at Cal, it's at almost any university. A lot of students were feeling this, and this is kind of known as what's known as imposter syndrome. So going in right away, I was not under the best impression. And it took me well over 2 years to even figure out half of these things and whether they were true or not. But now that I did, I can tell you I did go in feeling intimidated. And the other part about Cal is that when you have 35,000 students, it can be difficult to navigate college life. And because there are so many students, it gets so frustrating that, there's no one coming up to you and asking you if you need help because there's so many students that everyone kind of has to figure things out on their own. And I think that kind of is part of the problem. All of these rumors that get propagated are propagated partially because students have to navigate this entire college thing on their own. And for the first time, that can be very, very daunting. And for me, again, it took me 2 years to figure it out. Um, but once you do, and I think the biggest lesson here is to know that you should and can take initiative because that's the number one thing I struggled with. I think the fact that I already was overwhelmed by all these rumors, and then the fact that I didn't know how to navigate really because there's so many different things, and no one was really asking me if I needed help, which kind of happens in high school. That really got to me. But if you're a high school student going into college, do remember that. Like, it's okay for you to ask for help. It's okay for you to take control if you have questions. Reach out to people. I didn't do any of that, and I think that contributed to it. It was a self-propagating cycle, as the third bullet point says, because when you're so afraid of this new environment, and on top of that, you are surrounded by tons and tons of people where it's not always the easiest thing to ask for help. What do you know? Self-propagating, right? You're afraid, but you don't reach out, so you get more afraid. So it's a self-propagating cycle. So I think the number one thing I learned was don't be afraid to ask for help. It took me 2 years to adapt, but I did come around, and now I'm going to do a compare and contrast of those things the rumors I initially heard, and what I personally think ended up shaping my college experience and the differences. So, um, if you want the TLDR of this entire presentation, is Cal competitive slash cutthroat? The answer is no, it's not. And any other university that you get told is competitive slash cutthroat, it likely isn't. Because here you see the rumors on the left and reality on the right. The rumors I heard about Cal was that everyone was smart, and this could be super discouraging. But in reality, the truth is, yes, everyone is insanely smart. They're very intelligent, but I personally found that to be very, very motivating. I had met friends that did a lot of amazing things that had so many passions that it motivated me to figure out what I was passionate about. That's one of the reasons I have a YouTube channel on, because I'm really passionate about increasing educational accessibility. Um, and it was really motivating, even in normal academic classes, to meet someone who knew a lot of chemistry or knew a lot of organic chemistry. And they would help me and I would help them. And it was crazy to see that source of intimidation initially turn out to be a source of motivation. So many people are doing so many great things that you feel like you want to get in on it. The second rumor, the fact that students are out to get you and they sabotage, never happened to me. I don't know where this rumor started, and I have no idea why it's being propagated, but it doesn't happen, guys. Um, People care at Cal or anywhere. It just might be me being naive, but I genuinely think it takes um, effort to sabotage others, and I think everyone at Berkeley that I met was willing to help me. I was always willing to get my questions answered. Everyone was looking out for me if I took the initiative to reach out. Never once was I sabotaged, and never once did I see that happening to any of my peers. I don't know where that rumor started, but if you're out there and you think that's true, just know it's not. More importantly, if you surround yourself with the right people, I surrounded myself with people that made me feel comfortable and that I asked for help and they asked me for help and we worked together. If you surround yourself with collaborative individuals, you really get away from this whole sabotage thing that scared me for a while I was at Cal. So make sure you surround yourself with people that you genuinely do think will help you and that you'll help them. Because if you go in thinking people are out to sabotage you, it's kind of like that whole hindsight kind of thing. Like if you go out thinking that someone's out to get you, then everything they do kind of seems like they are. But you have to be open and really willing to adjust. Let's see. Not everyone can be the best. That was the third rumor. False. Everyone can be the best, but the only difference is they're the best in different things. Not everyone excels academically, but that's just one domain of life. There are people at Cal that, weren't the best in the classroom, but I saw them outside of school and they're doing so many great things. You have athletes that, are doing great things off the court in terms of academics. They're doing crazy, crazy things. People are doing things they're passionate about, and that's not just academics. You'll see that there's so much more to life, and they're doing so many great things. And again, it inspires rather than discourages. The curve is against you. False. The curve, I'm speaking only in terms of pre-med classes. I don't know about any other places, but as a pre-med, the curve is never against you. And I don't know where this started. There are certain professors that are very, very infamous for that. There are one or two out of like the hundreds or 200 or 300 that I've seen. The curve is almost always for you. Let me explain what I mean by that. Most classes are graded on a bell curve, which means, the median will be like the most common grade. But usually in Berkeley science classes, the average will be around a C. So what they actually do is they curve up. They curve it up to a B minus. Yes, that's not exactly high, but the point is they only curve when it benefits the entire class. They don't try to be like, okay, only 5 people can get an A, only 10 people can get a B. They actually curve up to make sure that they account for the fact that, oh, this class might have been a bit too difficult, so we have to account for that, and we want to shift people up. They always, always, always try to make sure that they're acting in the student's best interest. Almost like 80 to 90% of the professors I had at Cal, like straight off the bat, will say on their first day, if you score above a 90%, you will get some type of an A. And they say that because getting a 90% in itself is much more difficult to do. So they usually have to curve up to make it happen. Never, never, never fall for anyone who says only 5 people get A's, only 10 people get B's. Not true. I've worked with people, you can all get A's if everyone actually learns the material. I think part of this P thing is like people think that only a certain number of people can get A's. And that kind of discourages them, and it's again self propagating. Don't fall for it. Again, the rumors emphasize this aspect that Berkeley is really competitive. Never, never. Oh my God, I'm so mad I fell for that. Berkeley was so cooperative. I met so many people that cared for me and were willing to help me. Go to resources, ask for help. When you ask for help, everyone will help you. But so many students are afraid to take that first step. But when you ask for help, it exists. You have to go find it. There are resources on campus that will make that happen, but please, please, please go and find them. All right? And with that, in the end, you really will get out of this what you put into it. What do I mean by that? If you go in thinking that this place is going to eat you alive, it might. Don't do that. Go in with the mindset that this place is out here to help you. You're here to get the most out of it, and you will make the most of this environment. And though the rumors can be discouraging, half the things I told you, they're false already, but it still discourages a lot of students. Please go out there and share the fact that it's not like that. Cal is a great place. I love my experience there. Again, I'm just speaking on my behalf. But to be honest, most of my friends I think would agree with me. And most of the people at Cal would agree with me. But unfortunately, there are these bad rumors out there. either being propagated by Cal students or not by Cal students, doesn't matter. I'm sharing my experience, and hopefully this sheds more light on this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and just know that I'm not doing this to show you that my way is the right way. I really am doing this because I was in your shoes. I felt scared. I thought this was a competitive place. And then I got here, I lived 4 years and realized it was not. It was the most intellectually stimulating experience of my life, and I would not change it for anything. I don't regret my decision, and this is definitely not competitive. With that, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'll be making more of these videos, and peace. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Really appreciate it. You want to check out any of my other videos, there's going to be one right here. Another link to one of my videos right here. And another video right here. Why not? I'll put one video right over here. And last but not least, if you want to subscribe to this channel, really appreciate it because I'm still an early YouTuber trying to get it down. But a subscription button should be right over here. So please subscribe. Cool. Thanks. See you guys in the next one. Hope you find these videos helpful.